in the major for the stickers. Do it for the stickers. Right now, Complexity are on the back foot. Once again, they found themselves there yesterday, however, against NRG. Rogue looking really good so far today. They won in overtime just previously on Mirage, if you are just joining us. And now we move to Dust 2. Dust 2 will be a pretty fun map, I think. It's always action-packed. Isn't that right, James?
Yes, I think this is going to be wild. I think this matchup is somewhat unpredictable in general, but Dust 2 as a potential match-winning map for one of these two teams, this is a lot of pressure. I think this pressure could be felt pretty quickly. And indeed, we are quickly into this one. Rogue starting on the CT side, Hiko with 2 flashes and the defuse kit. They are 1 map up over Complexity at the moment. Quietly moving into the lower tunnel area, although one player's given some sound cues. Sick will... Ooh, no, he's going for it, actually. Maybe realizing what they were doing. That's a cheeky one. And now he can bait for his teammate. You thought it would be the other way around. Sick running out, and another headshot from him.
Okay, Complexity in so much trouble. You got 3 players left, one of which incredibly weak, basically useless with 5 HP, and you got 1 smoke. Good luck. The bomb is, in fact, they're running a fake. The bomb is actually towards B, desperately hoping that a mistake is made. Because with 5 players left, there is no need for Rogue to rotate anyone. So Shazam has to win the duel, and he's not even going to have time to actually get the bomb down because there's CTs everywhere, and his teammates Android very far away. So they tried to do what they could with that really awful 5v3, but there wasn't much you can do. 1-0 for Rogue, and we know that the CT start, like getting a good CT start, is so incredibly crucial on this map because the economy game is just, it really hurts if you're on the wrong side of the economy and you can't get the AWPs out. It hurts so bad.
Complexity will leave Shazam with money for an AWP. The situation is now urgent. The mission is critical. The reward is priceless. 3 CTs on A for Rogue. Not starting with a big focus on the middle area, but now there's no one in B and there's 3 in mid, and Rikke will open the proceedings with a pick on Ye. I don't know if the bomb is in an exposed position. I think it was, and Vices seems to be hungry to hunt it, but that could be a mistake. No need to defend the bomb in that position. There are enough advantages for this CT side.
Cadian kicking things off with a scout there. And lots of damage has been done. These T's having quite some difficulty making their way across. Nice frag, Cadian. Let's take his time perhaps. They still need to get across. And it looks like they're going to be able to do so. Cadian misses a few shots. And that's the bomb down. So that's a fantastic result, honestly, for Complexity. 2 kills and a bomb down. Keep the pressure up, and at the same time build your own economy even further. And you can see in this round, there is a world in this round where you actually see a buy from the T's. If they feel like, if they got more kills in that previous round, then there's a better argument for it. But they're going to hold on to what they have, especially with Shazam. He's been waiting for the AWP anyway. He's so close to it. So it's going to be fun to see when that finally is brought into the round, but for now it's just going to be a Glock and some Deagles and a CZ and no Kevlars. Oh,
well then. Oh, that's a nice shot by Rikke, but 2 players lost. That is a problem that maybe Sick can clear up. He can protect the weapon, although he has concerns towards the B bomb site. But Complexity will assume that he will protect the weapon and move away. I think Vice is in CT spawn as well. He will have a lot of sounds cues though, and Hiko could be exposed now to both these players, but with Vice in for backup, that soon may change.
I think that's dangerous. Almost got a headshot onto Hiko. That would have been pretty annoying, given that they just lost 2 players. What a great result for Complexity. They killed 2 players that round and the previous rounds, so the economy really kept in check on Rogue's perspective, but Complexity now, they've got that AWP in play. So Shazami is waiting for it. He has spent every last penny, as has Stan and Def, to max out what they can get here. And the AWP is going to be, the AWP battle will be really important. I'm curious where Cadian will begin with his, because Cadian, you know, he's already shown that he's very happy to move around and to be dynamic, and that's kind of important because it changes the very nature of the round. If you expect an AWP to be in one location, it's actually somewhere else. It changes how you will want to peek certain angles if you think there's an AWP there or if you think there's a rifler there. So there's lots of power in that.
And where is Cadian headed? Towards the A site. It will not be a fast boost. 4 people going towards A. And they're all going towards the long position. Cadian is throwing the initial flashes, but there is no engagement there from the T side. Android will take the bomb towards B. And B has been left empty by Rogue because they're expecting Complexity won't charge in there. It will be a rare round every now and then that happens. Spelling a rat. He will spray through the smoke but finds nothing. 2 players taking some damage, and now there's a 3-man charge into the B bomb site.
Yeah, Sick has a pretty well-timed flashbang, but it's not going to be good enough, actually. And the smoke across onto the double doors, and really fast response from Complexity. They immediately, when they got the kill in mid, they just knew to rush into B. They maybe it's not the case that they understood that there wouldn't be a player there, but you could see that Rogue, you know, it was a desperate sprint for them. They suddenly realized, oh god, you know, they've actually found our weak spot here, the opening that we've left.
It may be that they heard grenades towards long and surmised that there was very likely one person on B, so they can play the numbers game and overwhelm. If that's the case, then it seems they were correct. First round on the board early for Complexity. Again, Complexity trailing 1-0 at the moment in terms of games. Both these teams fighting for a place in the major, the London major, the FACEIT major. 3 CTs will save near the T-spawn area. No football being played. I feel like every time Def goes T-spawn to B, he should run into the football at least once.
Cross, always dangerous. It's like Complexity. They just want B. They're not looking interested in developing map controller here. Everyone is early round looking for that B push, and they're going to challenge Sick. He gets 0, and so does Ricky. That's the round just done, probably. I don't think that Rogue will ever try to attempt a retake here.
We have a tear in the matrix towards the B bomb site, and Rogue don't want to see reality. They will move far away. Hiko holding down the long doors position. And those charges into B, they have been a problem on New Dust 2 so far. I do feel like the tunnel is narrower than it used to be, but has not stopped people from barreling in, firing the cannons, flaming chariots. The Reapers of Complexity make for a grim situation on the B-bomb sites.
That's really cool too, because it's sometimes that you see teams that they'll be too afraid to try rounds like this, where you want to get that quick burst onto the B bomb site, and now you know there's a fear for Rogue that can they ever leave B completely open again? You know, Complexity have set a precedent that they're willing to just hit it really fast. So now it might be a good opportunity for Complexity to start also doing something similar to A-Long, just going for these fast A-Long takes, knowing that perhaps there will be maybe less CTs ready to trade there than in previous rounds. So that's one way you can sort of take control of the mental game a bit.
Take man Twix by force.
When you're thinking about, okay, how is this team interpreting, you know, what we've been doing? Like, what do they think we are likely to do based on what we have done? And you know, how can we sort of throw them through a loop and exploit that? Oh, an arm is spotted, and an arm is connected with. Okay, he's got to be careful. And here is a solo long take from Stanislaw. Oh, he's very blind though. Imagine if that had been successful. That would have been crippling for Rogue. And they put 3 players towards B early in on the rounds too. So that would have been a really big play from Stan if he gets the kill. Would have caused a rotation likely away from B. But still, there's 2 men strong in the B sites. 2-1-2 here for the CTs. And another B play from the Ts.
I feel like the Ts would have thrown that smoke, but what can they do behind it? Sick not prepared for them to charge a car position, and Ricky will soon be gone as well. 3 versus 3, and Kaden will try to do better than equal. He has a nice angle to hold. Will def engage. The Molotov will force him away from that position. There are no grenades for the retake from Rogue. 2 players moving through the B holes, and Shazam might not be ready unless they keep running and give a sound cue away. Starting to look in their direction now. That's a nice shot on Hiko, but surely he won't expect a second player.
And there's Vice greeting Shazam with a bullet to the head. How far does Vice want to pressure? Looks like not very far. He will retreat with the AWP, and that's some good value despite losing the round saved. Kaden even picking off Def as he tries to retreat. So some good damage done here in the end of the round by Rogue. They'll eliminate every player, and that will be expensive for Complexity, but Rogue, they need to get the rounds won and to fully capitalize on any damage that they do economically. So big buys coming in from Complexity. It's this B bomb site. Like if you rewind a bit from where that replay started, you look at the map and you think, okay, Rogue are in a really good position to win this round, but for some reason they are unable to hold the B site and even get any kills as the Ts march in, and that is a very big problem.
Beyond the pistol now, it's essentially a 3-0 situation for Complexity, and it's almost 3 kills for Vice on long, but he will be taken out. Hiko has no flashes and an MP9, so he may need to consider his position. Cadian has no flashes either. Both the players on A with 0 grenades, no pop flashes, no way to have a look and see what's going on towards long. They will hear the AK, they'll see the Molotov towards the car position. They know that Complexity know there are no CTs towards that car area. We see there's a flank from Ricky, but will he be anywhere near fast enough? Again, no flashes. Hiko is helpless at the moment.
Cadian is going to be forced back. Hiko's by elevator, but it's not easy to do. Oh, it's a bit of damage. Very nice. Perfect gun for the job. The MP9 has incredible jumping accuracy. Yay in the 1v4. Can't get a single thing. But they did get the bomb planted at the very least. Would have wanted to do more damage perhaps, but it is what it is.
Back to B perhaps.
Yeah. I mean, we can see already the response because Rogue, they're playing 2-1-2, which does weaken. It weakens the long situation quite dramatically, which is why Complexity's call to actually hit long straight away was really good. The fact that Vice gets so many kills here, you can see like there's a bit of a disparity in the spacing for the Ts. It was not perfect, and Vice was able to capitalize. He did too much damage. But it was otherwise, I think, a good call from Complexity.
You saw Hiko there doing a lot with not much. And yes, the MP9 is a standout in terms of jumping accuracy for the SMGs. Stanislaw and Def towards long. Android and Ye towards B. Shazam in suicide with the bomb. Rogue with 3 people next to the B bomb site. They're essentially playing for a mid push from the box outside long.
Yeah, this was a setup that Astralis used to run many years ago all the time. You'd always see Zipex behind that box where Vice is, and he would always get 3 kills every time, it felt like. And it often, because of the lack of mid-presence, it would often sort of bait teams into actually running a B split because you don't know where that mid player is, so you assume that the mid player is playing A, and then that baits you into going B because you think the rotation's very far away. So that's the beauty of that setup. The only sacrifice is that you don't get information on the map. That's your main sacrifice as the CTs with that setup.
I feel like there are... Oh, never mind. Hiko holding down a long position, and now it's 4 Complexity players focused on this area, but Vice should be able to hear them in the lower tunnel from his position, so there will be warning from Rogue, and maybe that will make them a little sharper. Seems that Sick is trying to bait, jumping past the doors. They're expectant. A flashbang from a teammate again. Too many sound cues is allowing him to be punished by Rogue. Sick looking for the last player, Shazam, but Ricky will deliver a second kill from the site. Too much movement in the lower tunnel gave warning to Rogue, allowed him to get those preemptive flashbangs in, and it all fell apart from there.
I love that. I love that they ran that setup. That to me really again, you know, Cadian, he's a guy that has played with Astralis, and Astralis were the team that, again, before Dust 2 was removed, they were one of, if not the best Dust 2 team in many spots, and they use that setup all the time. So I wonder if he has just taken it from that, or you know, where exactly it originated from. But it's very strong, and I love that they showed that to us. Cadian now being a little bit aggressive with the AWP. You've got to be careful in these rounds. Good catch. Don't want to get swarmed by the pistols, and he will back away.
He has 2 riflers for support, but indeed, no need now to be closer to those doors. Vice left in a boost position, and nice. Cadian will continue to go to the well. He's thirsty. Sorry, Ricky is the one taking a drink now, leaving Def and Ye with these Glocks. The position, the box position outside B doors is interesting. I feel like the if you look at Stanislaus' model when he spawns, I think it's that one, which is it's hard to identify if he stands behind the box, between the box and the door. Can't really see that he's there. I think there are still some visibility issues around the B bomb site.
Nice. Lovely
from Cadian. Some visibility issues to be addressed.
Hitting those shots feels really good. So it's always a bit of a boost.
Cadian's hitting all the shots.
He is, yeah, he's looking really sharp.
He has come of age.
Bosh. It's so nice for him to hit the second one afterwards as well, because the flashy shot is like, it sucks to hit that and then just miss the easier one, and it makes you look a bit foolish in a way.
Cadian was thrown into the fire, but he was covered in fire-retardant paint.
is that what you went for?
It's a poor man's poem, yeah. What can I say? It's been a long day, Dan.
Yeah. Well, 6 rounds for Rogue, 3 for Complexity. Rogue playing really, really well, actually. Honestly, both of these teams, it's really sad in many respects that one of them, you know, has to lose this series, just because it's really cool that they've both been through so much roster turmoil and many hard times, but it feels like both teams are really improving a lot. So we'll have to say goodbye to one, but Rogue looking very deserving right now with the performances that they've been putting forwards, but there's lots of play left on Dust 2, and always the potential for a third map as well. But a strong start to the CT side is very encouraging on Dust 2. Complexity will work that short control. And there's a smoke for, well, was going to be a smoke, like a B-split smoke. And, oh, the peek coming in from Cadian. Misses the shot, down he goes into safety, but they've spotted the push. How far will the T's go, though? They don't have to commit all the way. But Stanislaus going very far.
Being somebody who lurks in a goose position, he will look for it, but Vice is ready. Some pre-fire. Can't really use the shadows enough. Shazam's been good with the crouch peeks and gets a nice trade. And now Android trying to catch these. CT's out of position, going through the smoke, and that wasn't a good idea. 2 more here, though. 3-on-3 retake, but the CTs have had bad positions for a while. Ricky unable to trade, and that leaves Hiko alone. So back into the bin for Rogue in this round, but they've got good money. Now Hiko could try to rescue an AWP, but damage would be even better, in my opinion. Manages to do both. Not bad.
I feel like this is probably the most skilled Complexity lineup I've seen in the last couple, like 2-3 years. Would you agree?
Would not be too difficult.
Yeah. I know, but
it's sad to say.
Yeah.
But they have a proper team now.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like it's a really drastic difference. Like the individual level to me is like, now I'm like, okay, this team actually has the individual level to really compete, and like there is like an entry level to the top tier that you need to be able to have players who can have good enough mechanics so that they can actually just step up to that level, and I think they do.
Yeah, I think Stanislaus and Shazam are huge pickups for Complexity.
Yeah, yeah. It's cool to see that Dev stuck with the lineup as well, but we are into round 11 now, and it's looking like a B-split is on the cards for Complexity. They do want to make noise towards the short position first, just to help keep players towards that A site. It's a very long rotation from from A and long. And you want to make sure that short is not occupied, because that's a very fast flank into your B split. Ooh, ready for the peek. That's bad news for Rogue.
B split should be on, but there are 2 smokes around the B tunnel, and Sick has to fight around those because that's his only saving grace. Android jumping through, getting the information for his team. He was the sacrificial lamb. Def cutting off the rotation, and that should be the round again. Hiko and T-Spawn, but surely he is simply saving at this point. Somehow Hiko is 10 for 1.
Yeah, he's been playing sort of, what, A support, basically?
I suppose in many situations, either his team win the round or he has to save. So,
because I think, you know, Vice has been playing, you know, dedicated long player, and Hiko's sort of been supporting him and running between long and short. And we haven't seen much play into, like, we haven't seen a single set piece, I think, onto A yet, really, with guns. I don't think so. I have to say, it's all the Dust 2s I've seen since we've been, you know, watching Dust 2 come back into, well, all the Dust 2s I've casted since we've seen Dust 2 re-enter the map pool. I haven't seen that really detailed. Do you remember the NIP, like the NIP A set piece where they had all the Molotovs that would spill over the crate to spill onto the slope and stuff like that, stop the AWPers re-peeking you in, like that level of detail? I haven't seen that in this iteration of Dust 2 yet. Like a really strong A set piece.
who knows if we will see it? I'm sure we will at some point.
Yeah, yeah, surely. It's just very strong. It's good to have in the repertoire. It's also one of those plays that's kind of easy to sort of, it's an easy set piece to run because it's hard for the CTs to interrupt it.
You know what else is strong and good to have in the repertoire?
What's that?
Part of Molotov.
Alrighty.
Coming to a YouTube near you soon.
Nice. Coming to the tubes.
I say soon, probably not, because we're very busy here in Twickenham and my computer is, well, my CS computers are at home and in Santa Monica, so not necessarily soon, but coming to you at some point in the future. Make sure you're subscribed. FACEIT will be a good start. 1 minute 40 on the clock. Rogue 1 round in the lead. Both teams on the bye. Android and Ye, lower tunnel, Stanislaw and Shazam. Top mid, Def. Outside the long doors, Hiko alone in the pit with Cadian towards A site. And again, perhaps Rogue have been conditioned for heavy defense of the B bomb site. They basically have 3 players there, but that does concede a lot of real estate elsewhere. Question for complexity with a minute 19 on the clock is trying to identify the setup of these CTs.
Yeah, so they've got that short control. And this is what I meant and how sort of easy it can be to set up. Like, it's very difficult for the CTs to sort of throw nades in or really do much to stop you with the lineups in this position, especially if there's a smoke in the right place. It's very fast, and you've got to flash the AWPer off there. That's a big mistake. You cannot allow the AWPer to just have free reign as you come across. That is a big problem, and Cadian's just got 2 picks. And they've got 2 left on the bomb site. That is a big error. You need the flash. You've got to respect the AWPer.
No position of long, no grenades, no Molotovs, blind on short. Ye is alone versus 4. He has been huge for his team so far, but this must be surely too much to ask. Looking for the second frag, only good for 1 on this occasion. Some late grenades just for safe measure, making sure he's extra dead, and that is round number 7 for Rogue.
It's just 1 flash here, $200. That's all it is. It's in the right place at the right time. And Cadian maybe only gets 1. Flash did come in during the second shot, but yeah, it's a very good job from Cadian. As you mentioned, he's been so good. I haven't seen a Cadian this good, really, this consistent with the AWP.
People used to smoke the position roughly where Cadian is playing. People used to do it from outside long doors, but there is now an awning where people used to throw that from. It's been nerfed. Shocks on the French teams used to throw that smoke quite often.
Oh yeah.
But so if you look at when Def starts to run to his left-hand side around this corner, you will see there is an awning or let's say a roof. For those of you who don't know what an awning is, that is there to stop you throwing that smoke grenade, to change the meta by force on Dust 2.
they're going to go fast here, really fast. Ooh, Katie not ready for it. It was too fast. He just did not expect the pacing. Perhaps he was thinking about, I think they were thinking a B split was coming in or something, the way Katie was looking down into the middle area. And Hiko will get a frag into A long, and he can hold on to that position, but it's a short plant, and Rogue, they're just too far away, really. Big rotation. And it was their setup, really, that sort of put them in a weird spot. They sort of gambled 3 towards B very early on.
Because they're afraid. Because complexity have beaten the fear into them. That if we push B, we will take B. So Rogue, they want to have that extra man over there in case though there is an early push into the B bomb site. But you put enough eggs on one way. Well, you tip the scales one way, you've got nothing else to hold down the other side.
It's really cool too because there's 2 ops on Rogue, and normally if you're going to make a really fast short play, you have to be so careful you just don't get absolutely fully blasted by the AWPer on the CT side, because there's just so many opportunities for them to shoot you. And they just ran it. They had no fear and just ran down middle, which is pretty awesome.
Hiko stole that second AWP on long after shooting Def through the smoke. And that's a nice extra toy to play with in this round. Running out of rounds in the first half now, but again, just like the previous map, the score is close. Def making a fast play out into the long position, and Hiko does not want to give it up just yet. Moving around the smoke. Does he have any more flashes? I'm not sure if he did, but Cadian is in a dangerous position now. Def, Ye, and Stanislaw just took a lot of damage together. And now Cadian, how does he escape this position? Even with the smoke down, I don't know if he can really make it to the A site, but he will manage to dodge the bullet. Still peeking, but there's only so many peeks he can do from there. His whole body is exposed.
And Vice has just shut down the ability for them to go back to B. He's taken a kill and taken control of Upper Dark. There is a lot of time for complexity, but that's going to really encourage them even more towards A, because there's just too many unknowns towards B. They've got to go A, and that's where they're going. Cadian still holding short by himself. This is not a strong defense, actually, from Rogue. It shouldn't be too difficult to get onto the site and get a plant. A double smoke comes in. A good spray from Sick, but it will also be his demise, thanks to the tracers. Cadian missing a shot finally, and it's the wrong shot to miss. Shazam will punish him, and now it's a 2 versus 2, and they can get the bomb down.
Planting for long. Def is in the long position. No sniper rifle. No grenades for this T side, so it will be hard for them to work together in this situation. The sniper rifle would have been perfect because it is planted for the plateau position, so Def will have to have his eyes about him to spot the head if it goes that far. Now, who engages first? It will be Shazam saying hello, 1 shot. Def starting to move up now. They have the information. There's the first one looking for the spray transfer. Running out of bullets, going for the reload. He will go back and take the round, tying the score for complexity, 7-7.
So competitive between these 2 teams. It's really cool to see. Are we gonna see that B burst again? One more, I want to see it one more time, James.
Last round special.
Yeah, it could be.
Everybody
really
remembers those.
And they have the AWP here for Shazam. Oh, he's going to cover mid, and are they going to do a runner down mid? Or I imagine they will, because they have players ready in Upper Dark running forwards as well. This could be very explosive. They start to slow down though. They hear the nades being tossed. They know that a player is reasonably close. Normally there's a pop flash to deal with Ricky, but they line up. Sick with a perfect timing with the peak. A quick response in mid from Stanislaw, but this will be difficult here for complexity.
They are losing players, complexity. Android is trying to do what he can. Sick still in a 1v1 situation towards the B bomb site, but the smoke is still up, and that forces Shazam forward. He's trying to bait a shot, trying to get the info. He's collected the bomb, but Sick knows he is very close, and look at the repositioning. We've got Sick in the B bomb site, Cadian for support. We've got Hiko top mid in case Shazam rotates towards T-spawn, and I'm sure Shazam will continue to run before he can possibly expect a CT. You can see the repositioning on the radar now. Hiko heard sounds, and that's a free kill for him. And a free lead for Rogue at the end of the first half. Just the 1 round, though.
Hiko's 14-2. Where has he been? Where has he been? How is he avoiding the deaths? They lost 7 rounds. How's he only died twice? That's hilarious. Wow. Okay, well, so incredibly close between these 2 teams. And again, just to remind you, if you are just joining us for this map, the first map in this best of 3 series, Rogue were able to win in overtime, convincingly in overtime. but Complexity obviously with a fantastic showing all throughout. And they are making this really competitive. Hello, Def with a very long range pop to 6 head, and he's going to finish him off as well. That's always going to feel good.
Hiko with a P250. He will have good range for these engagements. The rest will not, and they're all in long, so in that sense it's not favorable. The numbers game might be. They do have flashbangs, and Cadian will pop Stanislaw with the Glock. Nice work from him. Def is close, but what can be done? Plenty of flashes for Rogue to cross. The smoke will do most of the job, but the flank from Ye is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, that's so awesome. He's looking so sharp. Android as well is also looking really sharp. I mean, you know, the whole team is doing well here. This is beautiful.
Easy money.
Just great
Paper,
execution.
Gravy, moolah, green, cows. Cows were currency once.
Okay, so tag, and are they going to rush it through? Of course they are. In they go, into P, into Def and Android, but they are doing a good job. A lot of damage. Def down to 2 HP. He is somewhat useless at this point until his teammates get there. At least he can support with some, some of the nades that he has. Flash him in there. Oh, Stan, he doesn't care, does he? Just goes straight in there, creating some space for his teammates and doing additional damage. Stanislaw is doing so much. Oh my god, he just walked in there like the Juggernaut.
That was quite the police mission. Might want to upgrade these weapons. Good, the MP9 is disposed of. And the rifles are there. The plant was made, but Rogue are not in a position to buy, so some money-making opportunity for Complexity. Let's see if Rogue buy much. Ricky's going for a deagle.
He loves
Solid
it.
$700. So he will have, what, 3,900? No, sorry, he'll have 4,400 in the next round. Unless they plant, then he'll have even more. So that deagle could do colossal damage to the money of Complexity.
Yeah, it is some pressure though. Do need to connect some shots. Can be difficult, but it's a great gun for this map. You are dealing with a lot of ranges, a lot of long ranges. And that one-shot kill potential at any range is really useful here. But you have to get it into a position where you can get a good opportunity, and you need your teammates to help you get there. And that's where this long push comes in. Yeah, he does get one, but closed down by the CZ. And now we'll start to see the rotation from Complexity. Quick boost, and that might be Ricky's opportunity. He's in the open. Ripe for the taking, but Ricky can't find the connections in time. Does get some good damage onto Shazam, but that's about it. And they've picked up the M4 as well. Yeah, they're actually being very annoying right now. Hiko with the M4 gets a kill. Wow, Hiko with another one, a long-range headshot. It's a 3v2 here in favor of Rogue. A 3v1 now. The Deagle does finally come into play, leaving Android alone with the FAMAS. This is very awkward. The flash is perfect. Oh my god. Poor Android in such a desperate, delicate position. Oh, he's doing the damage though. One more player to go. Rico with the deagle. Can he make it work? No! Android, how has he done that? Excellent work. Complexity, very happy with him.
How did they not kill him in that situation? I have no idea.
Especially with the flashbang, it was perfect. He was just completely blind. But no one peeked with it, so...
That was quite a performance. He should have been dead.
Oh, yeah.
He should have been gone.
Extra dead. Okay, 10-8. But that was great damage, though, from Rogue. Like, they got 4 kills. They've really set themselves up to, if they win this round, completely reset Complexity's economy. Complexity have to spend everything to have a full buy here. So that's a good spot for Rogue. That's a nice sort of consolation. And they've gone for the full AK setup. And I'm curious and excited to see what Rogue has to bring to the table. Their Mirage T side was really fun to watch. So I'm looking forward to what they have to show us here on Dust 2 as well.
Android boosted up early. Cadian has taken long on his lonesome, but will he stay out? He doesn't know if anybody's in the pit, I don't think. Because that very quickly, they're on short and long at the same time. This could be a lightning fast split. But they will be slowed down by complexity. But so much map control so early. And Rick is keeping an eye on the tunnel area, making sure there's no push, as there often can be in such a situation. Stanislaw down to 1 HP, just as the spray from Hiko stops, but will it continue? Stanislaw is going to die on his sword, but can he even get enough bullets off? He's trying to punish the reload, but Sick is there. Does he have the information at the very least? What can he really tell from this? Yay, there are 2 players there. Yay, there are 3 players there. How does Yay stay alive? He'll need to use that box for cover.
Ooh, I don't think they saw him, actually. We just saw quickly from Vice's perspective. I do not think that they saw Yay just yet. There is absolutely a window of timing here. Six still watching for a push. And this is really interesting. So much harassment. And Yay does come in, does catch Sick off guard. And Rogue decide to go for the A split. Moving through A long now. This is really interesting. 25 seconds. The time is really a problem.
They've got no flashbangs. They don't have a single flash, but Shazam's looking the wrong way, and they might be able to see the barrel of his gun. Cadian picking off Android in the meantime. Oh, that's a complete disaster. They had no idea where to look. If Shazam had held his angle, who knows what might have happened. And now that should be the round. 4 versus 2. Complexity out of position. That is somewhat unlucky for them.
I love that play around short, because you could kind of see that Rogue are looking for opportunities to make a play, and at the same time, Complexity is seeing what they can do, and then there's sort of this battle of information of playing around the smoke, and both teams being in spots to make split-second decisions as to how to rotate or attack a bomb site, and eventually we get this 4v4 with 25 seconds left. Really cool round actually, and Rogue were decisive, as were Complexity, but Rogue made the better call. So economy's been ruined of Complexity thanks to that previous round where they got pretty much wiped out, except for Android just saving their bacon. And they're going to have to, oh god, it's Dust 2. They're going to have to force around this. But this really sucks when you're playing Dust 2. Force buys like this really do not do well. So many long ranges, so many ways for the T's to exploit that. Quick long take comes in. That's a perfect place to start off the round for Rogue. Oh, they actually abandoned it. They're going to go to short where there are actually 2 CZs. This could be the opportunity for Complexity if they hit their shots, but only Android able to get a kill here. Otherwise, looking really good. 3 versus 2 now. Yay is on the bomb site. There is a potential for a defense. They don't see him. Yay gets 1. Opportunity for the second. Critically weak is Hiko. The bomb's down on the A site. And Yay is the guardian of that bomb. They've got to go through Yay to get to it, and a smoke as well. Oh, Yay. Oh, that's unfortunate. Had a good opportunity, but Rogue saved the day.
10 apiece. Again, just a reminder, Rogue are the one to map up at the moment. The score continues to be close, but Complexity are on Eco. They've mostly got $2,000 to $2,500 per head. So they should be about to lose the lead. I like the concentration. 100% in the B bomb site. Too rich for my blood. But Rogue have an A-star diet, it seems. Letting Ricky peek. See how the bomb is not going through the doors just yet. Just making sure in case of any nasty surprise. And now they'll exchange the bomb, giving it to Cadian, allowing Hiko to stand alone at the long doors in case of emergency.
I like how Rogue have been playing around the dark position, because usually if the CTs have stacked towards B and they start to hear grenades towards A, this happens. They actually run through upper dark, usually much sooner than they have here. And you can see Sick will hear everything. He's going to get a pretty nice lineup. It's not every day you see quite such a lineup, but Sick's going to be just taking them one at a time. Finds himself 3 kills, 900 bucks for him. And now they may consider trying to get rid of this AK. I'm not sure if they care. But yeah, it was a cool setup from Rogue and the anti-eco. I don't know. I really am feeling Rogue for the victory, but it's obviously hard to say.
You're feeling Rogue, who are about to take the lead, versus the CT team who barely have any money, and Rogue will have at least one more buy with the buy they have. Interesting, that.
Well, Rogue got a lot of rounds on the CT side.
Can't shoot that bag, or can you? Okay.
It's going to be tough to replicate that. Ooh, hello. One more. Ooh, very close.
Elevation. Oh!
We gets it nicely done.
Well, that may make a difference.
Yeah, it will. Absolutely, yeah. Gives a good opportunity for a complexity if they start winning rounds. Double Mac 10. Okay, B rush is coming. Look at the B spawn. Let's go B, lads. Let's go. Caden's going down mid with the Mac 10. Ricket at the front of the push in upper dark with his Mac 10.
Poor Android.
Yeah, well.
He's about to have his wives pulled out.
We'll see, we'll see. It's a good start. His movement's looking really good. Look at that. Bending out shots, dodging around, only using exactly the amount of bullets he needs. And, oh, that's a fantastic shot from Hiko. Android, though, he already did enough damage. He wiped out Hiko's reinforcements. His cavalry is now nothing more than a smoldering mess on the floor. There's a triple peek coming in. Android is really good. He's really good.
Yeah, but but credit to his team as well. Android stayed alive. He let them know where he was. Two of them stopped in a choke point, just waited for a flashbang from a teammate. Then out he comes, easy frags. He was on his own in the B bomb site. He had 4 people coming his way, and for a time, Rogue barely killed anyone.
Yeah.
And that has monetarily allowed complexity back into this match. Could really go either way. 3 people starting on a long for complexity, securing the long position. They will move around just a little. Shazam towards mid for the time being, presumably holding an angle towards short. As per usual, the B-Halls area has been taken. Very different approach from these CTs. Again, we have rifle support for the sniper rifle. Always important, especially on Dust 2 around these doors. I think it's feeling quite vulnerable for snipers to hold angles up towards short, so security is advised.
So damage exchanged and complexity get the better end of it. Flash comes in, yay, oh, he's got to be careful. Oh, just barely able to dodge into cover, but he does not win the fight. Hiko wants to continue forwards. Oh, beautiful pop flash coming in, a 1v2 for Hiko. Isolates one player. Trade comes in from Shazam. Ricky gets a trade of his own, and there's one more player to go. And if Def can hold on to this, that would be quite remarkable. There are so many players to deal with. His reinforcements is in Android, who is in the same position. That's not ideal. We'll jump on Def's head, perhaps. Maybe not. Oh my goodness, this is not where you want to be. Sandwiched between all these T's in the low grounds. Oh, there's just no way to succeed here, surely. And they will get wiped out.
That pop flash you saw off blue from Hiko on long is something he used to do on Old Dust 2. If I remember correctly, if you stood at the edge of the box that he stood on and bounced the flash off like that, it would be pretty much a perfect pop flash on the corner. I don't know if the same is true on the new box because I haven't tested it yet, but I wouldn't be surprised. So something for you to try at home. Nice pop flash peek for the corner of long. Speaking of which, we have Ricky making his way in. I don't know if he realizes that nobody is in the pit just yet. He has players in for support, and complexity have had to run away. Double scouts as Rogue take the lead once again. It is a force buy here from complexity.
And now, you know, as an in-game leader, you know, you've taken long at the start of the rounds. Now you have to think, okay, how does this affect rotations? Well, typically, you know, you have a reinforced mid or A position, and they have to take short. So then the question becomes, do you want to just go into a B play, or do you want to deal with the short players, or do you want to spend everyone at A long? Like, how do you deal with the shorts, like everyone on short now for the CTs? And so Rogue, you know, they're still holding on to long. We can see there's two on short here for Complexity. One in mid, one around Goose. So this is pretty much the expected setup when you take long. The CTs are pushing short now, and Cadian catches Shazam. That's going to really speed up the push now. Def has a scout. It's not going to really help too much.
It's a bad spot for these CTs. Boost attempts over the smoke with Ye, but he has a Desert Eagle. And he's not really finding much of anything. C6 now, patiently shooting, patiently falling to pieces. Thanos has clicked his fingers, and half the server is gone.
13-11, economy still a big problem for Complexity. They need to save, and that's going to put Rogue to 14 rounds. And again, Rogue won the first map in overtime, Mirage. And they're looking really good here for Dust 2 as well. It's Complexity against the ropes. There's always a way back in until 16 rounds are claimed. But it's certainly going to be tough. I've really liked what we've seen so far from both teams. Rogue's T-sides, though, have definitely been strong. And they'll trade their way into the A site from shorts pretty successfully against the USPs.
It's rough.
It's like bringing cucumbers to a sword fight.
Not recommended, unless you're the chef. Like if you're bringing celebrations for afterwards, right? Fair enough. You know, it depends on your role, Dan.
I suppose, yeah.
Depends on your role.
The support role.
If you're in the canopy tent, then, you know, maybe cucumber's appropriate.
Cucumbers. There's a small percentage of people that find cucumbers repugnant due to a gene that they have, which makes them able to taste a chemical that most of us can't taste in cucumbers.
More gin and tonic for me.
Random fact of the day. Shazam! Look at the presence here from Complexity. They are definitely not losing long in this round. Very fast response from Rogue. They know that Complexity had a huge burst of players towards long, and that will affect their rotation. So they quickly are able to take short and now harass with Sig. They can drop into a B play still if they want to.
Ooh. Player has fallen into the CT spawn position, and now Def has to worry about two directions. He realizes what might be, and perhaps he heard the drop. Moving around the corner, but not fast enough. Sick with some pre-fire, some Molotovs to try and stop the CTs from trading, and now again they move into that ramp position, out of position if people are on short, but there is a procession into the B bomb site. Rickayan late on his own, or early rather, but he does win his duel. Now what do Complexity do? 2 versus 3 again, no more grenades. Choices are tough.
Yeah, this is really tough. Rogue played this round out very well. The timing there on Sig when he dropped through and decided to launch the attack was perfect. Def completely distracted, and now Complexity, this could be their last good opportunity to switch things back into their favor. And there's the backstab from Rikke. Shazam now. There's no way out. Tries to take the fight, but Hiko is looking good. Hiko is 30 for 8 right now. He's been having a hell of a game. Some vintage Hiko.
Having a hell of some saves on the first half.
Yep. And we get the timeout here for Complexity. They are 1 round away potentially from defeat against Rogue. And it's been a really good tournament for Complexity. We can't forget, you know, their ability to upset NRG previously in the best of 3. And they've looked good today, but it's just Rogue have stepped up their level as well.
3 scouts and 2 UMPs.
Oh, it's so... I really can't stress enough how awesome it was to see the timing of Rogue's last round, where they drop Sick into a smoke, and then right as the sound cues are running in for his teammates going into the B split, and that distracts Def to look away, that's exactly when he peeks out to help them and backstab. It's just that level of detail is... I mean, Rogue have come a long way.
FYI, I am a spy. Cadian makes it even more difficult for Complexity. Yay, moving up mid. Nobody... Oh, they are holding this angle. They're waiting for him. They are expectant. They know that Complexity are desperate, that choices have been taken away, and they will take more away. 2 scouts and the UMP. versus a fully equipped Rogue team, all roughly in the same area. Nobody too isolated. Vice and Cadian still waiting for more pushes, and Stanislaw will be the next to offer sacrifice. He will be decapitated, his head thrown from the top of the tower. Shazam and Android. It's a slow one.
Ooh, Shazam picks up an AWP. This is tough, but he's at least got an AWP. If he can get a good angle for the incendiary onto the site too, he's going to create some space to actually peek from. Oh, but there are some counter grenades here. There's one molly on Vice, which he can toss in as well, but there's the flash over from Shazam. This has to go well. Oh, misses the first shot. I don't know if there's a chance now. Needs to hit those shots. Vice coming in. There is a timer to this push from the CTs because of this flank, and there is the backstab. Android's gone. Now Shazam has to look into two places, and he can't. 16 to 11. Rogue have done it. And you can see how much it means to Cadian and his lovely compatriots here on Rogue. They've worked so hard for this, and they played lights out.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a journey for these players. Hiko's been out of the spotlight for quite a while now, and he's finally made it back. He's made it to the major in London, so he can come and judge all my shoes in just a few weeks from now. He has been very vocal since he's been here. But congratulations to Rogue for making it to this point. Now the world is ahead of them.
Yeah, it's honestly amazing. It's just seeing the level of detail to their play. We always knew that Cadian was a very smart player. Obviously, he's been heralded as such. Always somewhat. I mean, he first became sort of known because he started to do analyst segments, things like a Cologne event when he was like 17. So clearly, he has a mind for the game, and to see him being able to try like in-game leading out, and it actually looks good, like really good. I'm excited for this team, and you guys all should be as well.
It's great. It's been a long while since we saw Cadian practicing with teams in our office in London some years ago, and now he's all the way at this point making it to the FACEIT Major. It's an interesting full circle on that one, but yes, indeed, congratulations to Rogue, and I don't think it's over for Complexity just yet, if I'm not mistaken. I think they will be going up against NRG
yes.
in the next match, so that will be very interesting. They'll have to shake off the L's from that one and focus on the future. But for now, we'll go to Heya Freya with the winners.
Thank you, James. Now, guys, before I congratulate you, production have given me this rather lovely helmet because of our recent accident. Do you mind just holding my mic whilst I put this on?
I think it's about time that I publicly apologize to Freya. That was definitely not okay. Freya even taking the blame was a bit of a crazy thing. So yeah, I think this one is good, but you're doing good, Freya. I won't do it again. I promise I'll be good now.
Can you hold this?
Yes, of course, of course. Oh, she's actually going all in on this one. Damn, boys.
I don't want any more accidents.
Thank
you very much, Cadian. So you guys have just got your first challenger spot at the major. How are you feeling?
This is an undescribable feeling. I'm so insanely happy. It's incredible. Like, our team was playing so well. The communication was on point. We kept it calm even at the hardest times. We're doing so good. I'm so proud of us. And I mean, for me, this is a very big thing, and for Spencer as well, and Ricky as well. Hunter. Actually, we have a lot of players. We have a lot of players who's been at the majors, but for some of us, it's been a while. For me, it's been 4 years. I left family and friends, etc., to move to the US and play a video game with nearly no social activities. So for me, this is a very big achievement.
What about you? How are you feeling about that?
Pretty good. I mean, not to brag, but this is my back-to-back. I made it to the major in the upper bracket of the minor, actually. So I was pretty confident going to all the matches, and I think that showed through my play and our whole team. I was trying to, hype people up, and I feel my experience is slowly getting me more used to being in really close games, and I was able to call strategies and stuff that I wouldn't normally do. And it was really good, yeah.
You guys have done amazingly well, and you actually managed to take Complexity's map pick Mirage in overtime. How did you manage to focus and see that game through?
Well, it was obvious that they were going to pick that map. Before this game, there were 19 wins and 2 losses, so it's one of the stronger maps. But we have some tricks up our sleeves, and we have amazing adjustments. Ricky is also doing very good. We had a vintage Hiko on Dust 2, which is not to forget 30 kills. He was playing out of his mind, and this team is just so composed. Everyone is doing great, so that's why we could take that map.
You all played incredibly well, and we saw Ye from Complexity actually playing really well on Mirage. How did you manage to neutralize this threat?
I mean, I think that's also a big sign of this result, not to disrespect anyone, but they won both pistol and Ye played like one of his best games ever, and yet we managed to win, but he was playing well, so credit to that.
So you guys have shown some amazing teamwork, being the first to qualify for the Challenger stage. Do you feel like this team could have the lineup that could potentially go all the way at the Major?
I mean, so far, yeah, we're the only team that's undefeated this LAN as well. We're doing super good. So yeah, we definitely can. I want to say one thing in Danish, and then I think you should talk with Spencer and Ricky, because they've been playing so amazing as well. So I just want to say tak til alle jer, der følger mig fra den danske scene. Det er helt fantastisk med al den støtte, jeg har fået. Det hjælper virkelig, når man er så langt hjemmefra. Så tak til det. Og tak til mine venner og min mor. Det betyder rigtig meget.
Well done, you've done amazingly well. Thank you so much. We're going to go over to Hiko quickly. So how are you feeling to be qualified?
It feels so good. It feels so good, you know. Like I keep saying it, and it's kind of crazy thinking about where I was a year, maybe 2 years ago, and the ups and downs I've had. And, you know, people have been doubting me. Like I said, I get hate all the time. You know, Hiko in 2018, and I think, you know, my first map wasn't that good, but I think I stepped it back up and I had a good second map. So, yeah, it feels great to be able to go back again, and hopefully I can prove people wrong once again.
Well, you really did show people that they were wrong. In the second map, you really showed your form. How did that come about? Was it throughout the teamwork, or was it just your individual plays?
A little bit of both. I know a lot of our CT side I was saving a lot because we were losing rounds pretty fast, but I think on T side I was just feeling it. I kind of had a mental reset when we went outside and kind of talked about what happened on the first map, and I came back just strong, and I felt like I just had like motivation that just came out of nowhere randomly.
Is there anything you'd like to say to the fans watching at home before we go back to the desk?
Yeah, as always, thank you to all my fans that have kind of stuck with me in my downward spiral that's been the past year. I think we're showing where we have some results. We're showing, you have maybe another team you can cheer for from North America. So thank you for that. Shout out to all my fans. Rogue, great organization. Nothing but good things to say about Rogue. And of course, I want to give a shout out to my mom, who's definitely watching this and probably is trying to call me right now. So shout out to you, Mom.
Thank you so much, and congratulations once again for being the first to make it through to that Challenger stage. We're going to head back over to the desk.
I love you, Freya. You're amazing. I actually think that's a look that we should adopt. It's so good. Now, shout out to the mums of Rogue, because obviously Hiko's shouting out to his mum again, but actually Cadian in Danish just also gave love to the mum. A little bit teared up.
Yeah, that tugged on your heartstrings for sure.
Of course. I wish my mum watched Counter-Strike.
It's not too late.
Cool Scandi mums in the house. Now, closely fought on both sides, of course. Yeah, he got 38 frags for Complexity on Mirage, but couldn't quite pull ahead for his team, could he, Jacob?
Couldn't quite make it. I feel we saw Ye playing just as well as he did yesterday, basically. Again, Complexity not necessarily having a bad game, but the star components of this team, the star players, Shazam in particular, didn't really show up at any point. They were needing him badly throughout the entire series. Not to say anything bad about Shazam, he is an amazing player and he has been playing well, but in this matchup he was just outmatched by Cadian in terms of all the AVP duels going towards Cadian as well. Looking at the stats from the second game, having Hiko putting up 30 frags as well,
that's
dying
vintage.
only 8 times. That's vintage Hiko. Like, I mean, where was that Hiko when I played with him, right? Like, have we had that Hiko, we would have been one of the best teams in the world, no doubt.
A bit of sourness I'm feeling from
A little bit of
sourness.
I mean, had he set up like this, we would have been easily a top
Do
3 team
you
back then.
think that you were the problem then, Jacob?
Oh,
You're the problem right here, Frankie.
Well, I'm not played with Hiko.
No,
go.
but I'm playing with you right now.
Yeah, we're always playing with each other now. Map 2, similar story really, wasn't it?
Yeah, but even more so, I feel like Rogue had more control over Dust too. Again, Rogue have one thing that they definitely need to like sharpen up leading into the next stage of these qualifiers is the fact that they're not doing a whole lot like that well with pistol rounds. Again, Mirage wasn't a great story in terms of picking up pistol rounds. This time they actually split them, at least, which is one step in the right direction at least. But their gun rounds are really, really well thought through. And initially, they show that they have multiple strengths to play off of. We've seen them when they played Inferno. They like going to double op setups. That's something that lends itself really nicely to on a map like Dust 2 as well. So we saw them trying that out. That kind of got them into the groove of things. Both Ricky and Katie being able to chip in and actually do their part, but overall it's just a team effort really. And again, when you have someone like Hiko who's playing so well to the point where you can actually just leave him towards the long part of the site for the better part of the CT side alone without necessarily needing too much backup. It just alleviates so much pressure on the rest of your teammates. You can stack up on multiple choke points and so on, and your whole life becomes a whole lot easier.
Does Rogue have it in them to win the minor? Because they are qualified now for Challenger, so congratulations, boys. But there's 30,000 big ones at stake in our grand final tomorrow.
I mean, I would love to see Rogue play against NRG in a matchup, because I feel Rogue on this level could actually go toe-to-toe with NRG. Whereas Complexity, yeah, they still potentially have the chance of making that grand final, but for them to beat NRG twice in a best-of-3, I don't think that's doable for them, especially not after showcasing what I would say is their more real level today. Yesterday, they played very well and better than expectations, but today I think we saw what Complexity are made of. They have a decent team and they have a decent core, but it's not better than this when Shazam is not showing up, when he's not their star player. They have nothing really to fall back on, and that's what we talked about in the pregame as well. You can't have a team that only has one star. You need that secondary, consistent star as well to show up. Whereas for Rogue, I mean, potentially they could have ended up winning. I think Rogue did the easy part now. Everyone is going to be looking towards Rogue now and thinking, okay, this is a serious threat, and whenever people are going to start focusing on how Rogue plays, and especially how Cadian is playing right now with the AVP, they need to be worried a little bit, Rogue, in terms of, you know, we need to re-find ourselves and make a new game plan, because Rogue is playing great Counter-Strike right now, but if they're going to keep playing like this, the better teams will get the better of them unless they have an extra gear to go for.
Now, if there's one thing that these teams both had in common, it was certainly nerves, something Rogue will have to get over when they're in Challenger and, of course, the grand final tomorrow. And Complexity, if they want to stay in this competition, they'll be up against either E-United or Energy in that lower bracket final. And we saw a great example of that, didn't we, in that match?
Yeah, one thing Complexity can definitely not do in their game tomorrow, regardless if they go up against E-United or Energy, is what we saw towards the middle stages of the second half. Really, it's an eco round for Rogue, so this should be a solid opportunity for Complexity to build up some extra cash, stabilize their economy, not necessarily be too afraid of actually getting potentially reset at any given point, so they can buy right back. Instead, we see them just going very over-aggressive versus Hiko for no real reason. Hiko's already picked up a Colt that we saw from the one player on Complexity side that died in pit. There's no real reason for them to actually go out and take these challenges. The bomb hasn't been planted yet on Rogue's side. There's really nothing for them to gain. You can't plant the bomb on long, for instance, and you can still set up for plenty of you can get into good retake positions if you're Complexity. You have the utility to play with as well, and in the end, they have to call on Android to bail them out in a 1v3. And if Rogue doesn't mess up severely in that 1v3 by giving him 3 1v1s instead of having to cover 3 angles at the same time, they lose out on that round, and the score can spiral even more out of control than what it ended up doing as well. But Complexity need to fix very basic stuff like that. I get the idea that, and again, you can commend them for doing stuff by committee, which is having everyone commit to it. But you've given up a Colt to Hiko already on long. What do you actually gain from removing him in that scenario? You don't necessarily do anything. You know that it's going to be a catwalk split. So I think at that point they just need to be a little bit more measured in their decision making and take a little bit more time to actually think through what they're doing.
Yeah, I definitely agree to that sentiment. I feel the thing that annoyed me the most about Complexity's performance today is not necessarily that Shazam is not stepping up. That's okay not to be the best player on the server every single time. That's all right. But the way they were using their utilities as well, we talked about it upstairs. They made it so easy for Cadian to be this monster. Cadian has been playing probably the best tournament in his entire career this run, and kudos for that. But it's not like everyone made it hard for him. It's not like Stanislaw or anyone from Complexity were sitting down and thinking to themselves, okay, we got to make it hard for Cadian. That's the big weapon. If we close him out with some flashes, some smokes, then we at least get a little bit closer to an easier match versus Rogue. It seemed so easy for him. It was just a shooting gallery throughout the entire game, and if you keep doing that against a player like Cadian, then you're going to get punished. So I would say I'm highly disappointed, honestly, in the way Complexity approached this match, and they were simply not prepared enough.
Well, we'll see if they can fight back tomorrow when they play either E-United or Energy. But let's take a look at the bracket and see what that match has meant for the standings. So there you go, Rogue into our grand final and certainly qualified. They'll be fighting for that cash prize tomorrow evening. And E-United versus Energy Esports up next. The loser, therefore, facing Complexity. The winner facing off Rogue. Can't wait to see what happens between E-United and Energy, because, of course, Energy already beaten our friends E-United in a best-of-1 on Overpass. E-United made the mistake of not banning that map, Energy said. So I imagine they're going to ban it this time.
Yeah, I have my doubts that we're going to see Overpass coming through again. I mean, that said, E-United did come back a lot stronger versus Rogue when they got to play Overpass again. But I think a very different beast of playing energy on that map than it is.
Thing is, it's the best of 3 vetoes, so we don't really know whatever United have like a permaban they have to get rid of, which leaves all paths open.
Which they kind of do as well. That's the issue, right? Like
Exactly.
you do leave a pretty big gap. But I think almost in any way you flip it, there's no doubt that United are going to be severely disadvantaged going into a map veto versus Energy. Energy just straight up have a better map pool than them.
Well, there is a chance, as always, for you guys at home to win. So head to faceitmajor.com/giveaway to win yourself millions, or at least 1 million FACEIT points. Now, because we know his mum is watching, we thought we should give the final word of this segment to a marvellous moment from our mate Hiko.
It's still one of my proudest moments, and one of my, it's my catchphrase. Hiko, are you kidding me? That and Inhuman Reactions. If anyone ever sees me on the street, or if I'm like in a server deathmatching, what do you think they're saying? It's always, Hiko, are you kidding me? So that's probably the highlight moment of my career.
And Songair is putting a shot through, manages to connect with one. That's Dupree down to 38. But they are going to get control of this A side. Team Dignitas, they've got the smokes down to cut Cloud9 off, and in fact, they're going for huge plays! Dupree! Triple spray runs through the smoke into CPL, and that shatters the defense. Cloud9 in a 2-on-4.
And so we had just got broken on money. This is our last buy. It's such a big round, and you can't see it, but one of their players, Dupree, ends up entering through a smoke and kills 3 of my people. So it's a 2v4. And we're coming back somehow, and I end up killing 3 as my teammate defuses.
That bomb plant's already been happening for quite a while here, so Hiko and Sean, that's a good kill from Hiko, but they realize Dupree's still in there somewhere. They're going to try and go for it here. They want to go all in. Hiko comes in with another kill, and back to a 2-on-2. That bomb so far ticked. They got to move quick right now. They're going for it. The defuse is already happening. Hiko, are you kidding me? He's going to go for it. They win the round. Hiko picks up a triple, and Cloud9 win it. What?
How in the world is right?
Even just watching this, I get shivers, because it's it's so crazy looking back and thinking how important that was, and how it changed the entire format of the event, because we beat them and we made it out of groups growing from there.
Hiko!
Oh, you are going to be watching that retake for a long time.
I mean, I'm not the kind of person to go back and watch all my old clips, but I've definitely seen it a lot. And like I said, I mean, everybody always reminds me of it anytime they see me. So it's definitely a noteworthy thing.
That was lovely.